Rescuers are expected to continue searching for people who went missing at sea over the weekend. The National Sea Rescue Institute reports that a 14-year-old boy drowned in the sea off an unprotected beach in Ballito, KwaZulu-Natal. In Port Elizabeth, a father and son disappeared on Saturday during a fishing trip at Beach View. It's believed their boat capsized. Up to 50 people, including community members, have joined the search for them. And for the very latest on this, I'm joined on the line by the National Sea Rescue Institute's Craig Lambinon. Craig, thank you for your time. Can you tell us how the rescue efforts in these two separate incidents are faring?
Yeah, so there are a number of incidents around the coast where the searches are continuing for people who have gone missing in the water. Obviously, the incident at Beach View near to Port Elizabeth, search for a father and son. Police are continuing with that ongoing search at Zinkwazi, just north of Ballito. Police, including NSRI and Quadacruiser lifeguards, are continuing a search there for the teenager. There's still a search going on at Milnerton Lagoon Beach, where police are searching for a teenager who went missing there. For a child who went missing there. We are continuing to urge the public be at beaches, swim only at the beach when the lifeguards are on duty and obey the instructions of the lifeguards.
Now, during the festive season each year, the same pleas are made to holidaymakers and bathers and local coastal residents to be vigilant and to learn more about sea conditions, to make sure they swim at safe times, on safe beaches, and yet every year we see drownings. Is there anything else we can or should be doing, or is this just a part of life?
So we obviously rely heavily on the media like yourselves to spread this message as much as possible. And we are confident that the message is getting through. Lifeguards have done a tremendous job on the beaches, really to an extent to coin the phrase, putting out fires before they start. Getting people out of the water, making sure that people are swimming in the safety marked swimming zones. But it's about the public's safety consciousness themselves to be at beaches when and where the lifeguards are on duty, and for people launching any kind of craft onto water to make sure that they're wearing life jackets. Sadly, that incident at Port Elizabeth, life jackets weren't being used, and late yesterday afternoon, early evening last night, two youngsters at Gordons Bay swept out to sea. They were literally planning just to be a few hundred meters off Bikini Beach at Gordons Bay in a kayak fishing, and they got swept out to sea almost 2 to 3 kilometers from where they were intending to be, but also not wearing life jackets. Fortunately, strong swimmers, they managed to swim to shore safely. They weren't injured, but it's about a safety-conscious mindset. The concern that we have at the moment is that the high tide during this very busy festive period, the high tide is peaking in the late afternoon. That coupled with the spring tide, if you notice just from yesterday alone, most of the incidents happened late afternoon. And that's a combination of the high tide peaking late afternoon in a spring tide, and most of the incidents happened at beaches where lifeguards aren't on duty. So that is really a fantastic message to get through to people. Take your families to beaches and swim when and where the lifeguards are on duty, and make sure your children have responsible adult supervision around any waterway.
Okay. Now, apart from swimming only at beaches where lifeguards are present, where can people find out about tidal conditions, about sort of expected rip currents or dangerous areas? Is information published regularly in local newspapers, or are they made available to bathers?
Yeah, so our safety message has been widely spread, and obviously this again emphasizing the point of we're in a spring tide. That means a higher than normal high tide, a lower than normal low tide. It happens twice every month at full moon, again at new moon, and it happens for at least 7 to 8 days around the full moon and the new moon. That's 16 days of every month that you've got a spring tide that adds an added danger. Take, for argument's sake, us as rescuers. We train in water all the time. regularly exercising, preparing for any eventuality, familiarising ourselves with the environment that we're going to be thrown into. If you take that as an example, the ongoing training that we do alone, and now you're taking your family to the beach with little children and you're throwing them into that environment that we need, that as professional rescuers, we need to practice in all the time for our own safety. You're taking your little children to that same environment unprepared. So we're asking people, have a safety-conscious mindset, prepare well in advance. You can go to our webpage at www.nsri.org.za and get as much safety information as possible. And it really should be a project that the whole family gear up to every time that they are going into any environment that's unfamiliar. Walking up the mountain is the same sort of situation. Prepare, have the emergency telephone numbers programmed. Know what you're going to do if you encounter an emergency situation. Be prepared. And that way, we obviously hoping that if families cotton on to having that safety-conscious mindset, everyone's going to get through this festive season safely.
Well, thank you very much. That was Craig Lambinon from the National Sea Rescue Institute.